Hi, welcome to Unique Parenting. I am B. Moise, and today I want to talk to you guys about executive function. And I want to tell you how it probably is a cause for a lot of parenting frustrations that you are experiencing. Because when you are expecting something from your child and they're not delivering consistently, it's going to cause you frustration. And I do have a video called Expectations Will Cause Frustration, because in reality, you expect certain things, especially as your children get older. There are certain milestones that you're like, okay, we should be here right now. And if you're not, it's going to be upsetting, and it's going to be upsetting to you as a parent, and it's going to seem like this is just a really hard and difficult time. But in reality, it's more about understanding to know that it is hard. The experience is hard when you're in it, but once you understand it, there are ways you can navigate around it. And one thing to know about is executive function or executive dysfunction, which basically is, so there is a part of your brain that is telling your body what to do, right? It's in charge. It's called the executive center of your brain, right? And basically think of it as like a corporate meeting, right? That is necessary, that happens every day. And basically all of these different things, come together in that part of the area of the brain. And they're saying, hey, today we are going to execute these tasks, right? We have to get up, we have to brush our teeth, we have to, make breakfast, we have to put stuff in our backpack, like we have to do all these things. So there's the meeting, and all these things are supposed to show up to hear that so they can happen, right? However, when you have executive dysfunction issues, people do not show up to the meeting. So you have the people who are supposed to brush their teeth, they came, but what about the one that needed to brush hair? They didn't show up to the meeting, or pack the backpack, or, remember to, put on shoes, or whatever it may be. So it just seems as if like there's always something missing, or it's not connecting. And that's because neurodivergent children especially tend to have executive function issues. And they don't all look exactly the same. The ability to think about a task and execute it, it may seem like an easy thing, but some kids get stuck. So you can even tell them how to execute the task, but on their way to do that task, they forget. And that is a bigger thing to consider and think about, as opposed to just thinking they don't want to do it, or they're being lazy about it, or they don't feel like doing it. Whatever other language that you may put put on it, that's not what it is. In reality, this is something that is difficult for them. It is hard for them to figure out. And the best course of action, if you see your child is struggling with simple tasks or remembering tasks or task completion, talk to someone about how they can teach them how to have better skills to handle, executive dysfunction or executive function issues. So, whether that be a coach, a ADHD coach, which is something that I do, or, whether they talk to a therapist, I could give them tools, all these ways are how to, help your kid with these things, but also most importantly, how to help you in this parenting journey, because it is complicated, it is hard, it is difficult, and it is frustrating to feel like you're still parenting a 2-year-old if your child is 10, right? Or if you feel like you're parenting a 10-year-old if your child is 7. It just is. That's just what it is. Obviously, chronologically, they're not that age, but developmentally, they may still be struggling with those skill sets. So they need help to understand there's nothing wrong with you. You just need different ways of navigating that skill set, or to probably learn it. And you didn't learn it before, so now we're going to learn it again, which is fine. But it definitely can cause a lot of frustration in parenting. So that is what executive function is. It's basically knowing what to do, how to do it, and then doing it. The end. That's really what it is. But, some kids struggle with that. And sometimes it's harder for other kids than it is. Not all neurodivergent children look the same. It is a spectrum. So some kids can have really good executive function skills in an area, but then in others, it kind of falls apart. Although typically the best time you're going to see your kids' executive function is at a task that they like. If it's something they like, you're going to see that they're extremely motivated. And that tends to be where parents are like, well, obviously they can do it. Well, not really. They can do it with something they like because they're getting the proper amount of hormones to help them be motivated. So they're getting the right, trickle of dopamine to motivate them to do that thing. But if it's something that they're avoiding or do not like, they're not getting, enough motivation for it. So the dopamine is just not there. So again, learning about these things and figuring out how to help them navigate this will make both your life, but their life a lot more, feeling accomplished, because ultimately we want our kids to succeed. So in the meantime, I want you all to enjoy your unique parenting journey with your unique child.